Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are live on the day before Game 2 of the finals. Telling you this is what a time to be a Boston sports fan here in the city of Boston. There's nothing like being on the cusp of the championship. But as we know in Boston, there is nothing guaranteed. We were in the finals a couple of years ago. We won Game 1, and we all know what happened. So today's show is going to be very special. This next guest is one that I've just been so excited to collaborate and do something with for a long time. And pretty much my story, this dude will be forever linked as show hosts, content creators, podcasters, because let me tell you, when I started, this dude was right there starting with me. He had a little more experience, but we started off on the same network. He's still there doing his thing. He's doing his thing on YouTube too. I don't know anyone more locked in on the pulse of every major sports team in Dallas. I'm talking basketball, football, hockey, WNBA, Rangers, everything. This dude is on it. Not only that, he takes some mighty good camera shots, crowd shots. So you're gonna have to follow my boy. Anyways, we have been talking about doing a collab for so long. And what's up to my man Nathaniel? Nathaniel, that might be my favorite Lakers fan right there. In the chat, I'm looking forward to seeing everyone who's going to be in the chat today. We are live, but without further ado, let me introduce to you the man who's got it on lockdown and the man who's made me elevate my game from the heart of Texas sports, the host of DFW Sports Raps, my man, my friend, self-made Druski. What is up, my man Druski? Welcome to the show. It has been a long time coming. It's about time. Welcome, my brother.
What's good, my man? 2Gunzz, man. Hey, like you say, my guy, this has been something in the making. We've been talking about it for the longest. We was like, we always follow each other. We always keep that good spirited competition between each other. And I mean, the way you hold it down for Boston sports, bro, is I respect that to the fullest because you represent Boston sports the way I feel how I'm trying to represent Dallas Fort Worth sports. So, and it's long overdue, and we've been talking about it. One of our teams, sooner or later, we're gonna meet up in the finals, and this is gonna happen. And this is how it's kicking, man. Big shout out to you, man, for sure. What's up?
I so appreciate that. I was saying we were just talking out there, and we've been wanting to do this for so long. And all of our teams are playing mostly, except for the Rangers and Red Sox, but most of our teams are in different conferences. So we don't get the stars don't align like this very often to, do a show, a collab show on the biggest stage. I mean, this is the finals. This is for all the marbles. And this, I mean, if there was ever a time that the podcast gods, the creator gods said, you two need to do your thing, this was it. So, I mean, like, I'm excited to get this show, the show going. Let me give some shout out to people in the chat room. My man Nathaniel, big fan of us on PSF app. Big shout out to you. My Dominican hockey brother, Jesse, man. He knows all hockey. Love talking this to where another. I keep saying I'm going to link up with all these people. He's another one we're going to link up with soon. So what up to my man Jesse and everyone in the chat room right now listening. All right, Druski, let's get right to it. The finals. I know Game 1. That was it was a little bit of a blow to the Mavs. The Celtics came out on fire, punched the Mavs in the mouth. On the bright side for you guys responded, gave us a real scare in the third. How's the feeling down there in Dallas? I mean, even just the whole general excitement of the Mavs. What's the pulse down there?
The pulse is really mixed in between. It's really very knee jerk. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to Jesse right there. Appreciate you for welcoming me on to y'all show. It's been mixture. Me personally, you get 7 tries to get 4 games. The Celtics got 1 game. So you don't, in this type of environment, you don't win a 7-game series off of 1 game. Now, the pulse of the city, it's nerve-wracking to see your team lose by double-digit points like that on the road, and all of your stars don't contribute to help. I think the more disappointing thing they saw was the old Mavericks team where Luka is the one producing and nobody else comes up to show. I think that was probably more of the disheartening thing to see. But to be honest with you, I looked at that game, I sat back and I looked at the box scores and everything. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna be honest. When they announced Kristaps Porzingis was available to play, I didn't know what y'all were gonna get. I didn't know what he was gonna present.
Neither do we. Neither do we.
I don't even think Celtic fans knew what they was gonna get out of him. On top of that, you got like his NBA Finals historic performance in 21 minutes from Kristaps Porzingis. Now, for me to sit here and say, can he keep that up? That's here or there, but nobody saw that. And if the maybe only everybody in the Celtics locker room saw that, but I can't say everybody else did.
I don't think even they did.
You see what I'm saying? So you haven't seen the Celtics. To be honest, you look at the game. Let's take out Kristaps Porzingis. The Celtics really played their game. They hit threes. They spread it around. Their 2 superstars might have not had the 30-plus numbers, but everybody contributed. Everybody hit threes. That is the Celtics team. They were gritty. They protected home court. That was everything I needed to see. That's the team I look forward to see. Kristaps Porzingis doing what he did. I didn't see that coming. Nobody saw that coming, and it just caught the Mavericks off guard. Now, give credit to them. They battled back. They started turning over the ball, but I give the Celtics credit because their game plan worked. They stuck to their game plan, and it worked more than the Mavericks did. They took away our passing 3-corner pockets, and they made sure they kept the alley hoops at bare minimum, which I don't even think we got one. So much credit to the Celtics right there before I just sit here and say Kristaps Porzingis just had one of those nights.
Crazy games.
Yeah, I mean, but, you know, we know what he can do. We just don't know how healthy he is. So
that's it.
I give the Celtics credit. Right when I saw the Walton tribute, I was like, it's gonna have a different energy.
Anytime you get those emotions like that,
and a lot of people are, talking about Kyrie's talking about he expected it to be a little bit more louder in there. I think that tribute to Bill Walton put a certain type of energy into the crowd where they were more focused on like doing it for him instead of pouring all that energy on the Kyrie. So I think that's more what he was saying than what anything happened, because it was electric in there. There's no cap.
Agreed. There's almost a different level of electricity when you get the light, the tributes, the live tributes or some. You remember DeMar Hamlin?
Yes.
The Pats, they played him. They played the Bills the first game when he was back on the sidelines. Last game of the season, what happened the first play? They ran it back. There was just something in the air when you're dealing with some type of just emotion like that with people attribute to and it was Bill Walton, one of the greatest Celtics of all time. So I mean that was definitely one thing that the Mavs had up against it right away. My question for you is: you saw Kristaps Porzingis. He was in Dallas for a couple of years, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you see that version of him often?
I saw his ability to score from the 3-point line, but there's this big misconception that Luka and KP really didn't get along.
Didn't like each other. Yeah. What was going on with that?
To be honest, it had nothing to do with Luka and KP. This was more about Rick Carlisle and him being prideish on the way he coaches basketball.
Yeah.
Because him and Luka were clashing a lot, and a lot of people were about to label Luka as a James Harden, as a coach killer, but you've heard the stories that came out with Rajon Rondo when he came down to Dallas and basically how it didn't work out between him and Rick Carlisle. I think Rick Carlisle had more to do with a lot of this he was using Kristaps Porzingis as a spread guy, not
Yeah, like put him in the
his,
corner. Like that seems
yes,
like a waste, a bit of a
yes.
waste of his talents.
You know, you're not using him to his full potential. And I think that rubbed Kristaps Porzingis the wrong way. And I think when they were in the bubble against the Clippers in the playoff series, he had caught a foul, and then he had came to defend Luka Doncic after he got hard fouled because he had already grabbed a technical. And then the foul that got called upon him shouldn't have been a foul. They should have reviewed it. They never did. Kristaps Porzingis argued it some more, got a second technical, ejected, but it was like Rick Carlisle didn't come to his defense. And ever since that happened, everything fell apart. So this had nothing to do with Luka and KP. As you saw, Luka wanted to guard KP. There's good competition.
Yeah,
there's no beef right there.
I didn't see any animosity when they talked to KP about Luka, or Luka when he talks about KP. I mean, it seems like they got nothing but love. I mean, they're not gonna. It's the finals, so they're not gonna be sending them flowers and everything. But I didn't sense it. But it's good to hear from you, someone who actually witnessed it all. Aside from me, viewing it from afar. All right, my next question is this. We got Jason Kidd today. Asked during the presser, he's asking, they were asking about Jalen, and he made a point twice to say their best player. Now, I mean, you got to think it's no other than he's playing some, he's now got the Phil Jackson mind games going on. What do you think of that? What do you make of that?
I think what Jason Kidd is saying more than anything, it's the total game that Jaylen Brown is bringing. Because if you look at that game one that he played, he exerted, to me, the most energy out of any Boston Celtic that it was out there. When you have to guard Luka, look, a lot of people call Luka overrated until you get on that court against him and you realize he's just pretty good. You know what I'm saying? For Jaylen Brown to take that upon him, make him struggle, pick his pocket a good couple times, still give you offensive production as well as the defensive prowess. Not only was he defending Luka, he was giving Kyrie hell.
Yeah.
I didn't see Jason Tatum doing that. That, and this is no disrespect to Jason Tatum, but I think what Jason Kidd really wants to say is, I think the best, this is the question that was asked to him. When Jason Kidd says Jaylen Brown is their best player, I'm going to translate it into say Jaylen Brown is that dog. He's the dog. Like, he's that dog that's, when you go to deliver some food to somebody's house and you kind of get nervous. You know what I'm saying? That's Jaylen Brown. He's gonna show up, and I think that's more what Jason Kidd is. He looks from a dude who's played in the mid 90s to that older school basketball. I think he recognizes Jaylen Brown's game as a throwback game more than Jason Tatum's. I think that's more of what he's saying, why he feels Jaylen Brown is the best player for sure.
That's a great point right there. Too, if you're gonna give him the truth serum, he ain't lying. Jaylen Brown, even the whole playoffs. You look back at the Indiana series where he saved the Celtics' ass. He's been the best player on the court, defensively, offensively, just energy-wise. He ain't wrong. So he ain't wrong. Yeah. So I hear you. You know how the media is. They wanna overanalyze it, and a lot of people are saying he's playing some mind games, but I respect that take on it. And J Kidd ain't wrong.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's hit up this question here. Question from Jesse. Was Lively someone you expected to ball out more in the game? I know he got in real quick foul trouble, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's young too, the kid from Duke.
Yeah, I just think they didn't understand what Kristaps Porzingis meant to the Boston Celtics because they were already loaded. Now, I will sit here and say there's nothing to be nervous, but if Kristaps Porzingis is going to play like this, then the Celtics should be prohibited to be finals champions, because that's just a lot of offensive firepower to deal with. But Derek Lively, from the beginning of the season, when they tanked last year and they had the chance to get into the play-in, that kind of made me upset because I'm like, dude, you got Kyrie and you got Luka. If you even get in the play-in, you got a shot. But
could have done what you did this year.
Exactly. But for them to do that, I sat here and said, bruh, if you protecting your top 10 pick, whoever you get, it better be worth it. And Derek Lively, 2 games I saw with him being down here, and I'm like, dude, he changes everything for the Mavericks because we've been looking for a big like this since Tyson Chandler left. So
that's true. Yeah.
It's really good. Now, I think Kristaps Porzingis don't play game 1. He probably has more of an effect. But just for the simple fact, we don't know what to expect from Kristaps Porzingis. I can't imagine what a rookie would know what to do. And I think he was put in a bad situation when they were switching. I just think they did too many switching. If I'm Jason Kidd, if you're going to pick and roll with Kristaps Porzingis, look, we're just going to have to play over the top, force you over the 3, and keep our big on Kristaps Porzingis. If you drive in and score, you just drive in and score. I really would like an old school basketball, not so many threes, but hey.
Man, I miss that too. Don't you miss the old school days? You know, where you got a center actually was a center down low post work, and you got the bangers.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that. Like I
mean, credit to the refs. They were letting them play though. I mean, you saw a lot of physical play at the rim, and a lot of those blocks that the Celtics got were physical challenge plays. So, I mean, I think Derek Lively, he'll be straight as it goes on. He's going through a lot right now. As you know, his mother is, I think, a 2-time cancer survivor, but he also lost his mother not too long ago, about 2 months ago. So this is something I don't think he's going to be shaken by. He's a young dude, but he's one of those that got to grow up fast. So, I mean, his mom survived cancer twice. I think he has no adversity going through him. It's just really going to depend on everybody else, as we'll get into.
I mean, you got to think too. He was a teenager how many months ago? Now he's in the finals dealing with the mom. I didn't even know that about his mom. That's a lot to the game is meant very
for
mental,
anybody. That's a lot, you know.
Exactly.
To go to work and do whatever you got to do, let alone play an NBA finals on the road in Boston.
True. I mean, all the other things too. You don't even take into account. You know, all the outside factors, all the people asking for tickets, all the media, all the attention. You know, all the people telling how great you are, how terrible you are. You know, there's a lot. There's a lot. Granted, it's a problem. I wish I was 7 feet tall and had that problem, but you know,
some people have good problems. You know,
That's right. So, all right. So my next question, Luka, is he hurt? Because he looks amazing, and he'll put Gobert on skates and just completely punk him. Then the next thing you know, he gets fouled and he's running up the court like he's an old guy. Like, what's going on? Like, is he just punking all of us? Like, what is he hurt? Is he, just playing coy? What's going on with this guy?
I will say this for Luka. Luka is seeing, and by the way, he's playing banged up just like everybody else is. So there's really no excuse for him. He has a tendency to do this. He's been dealing with an ankle and a knee issue basically for the last 3 months. So
yeah, I heard about that.
That is something that has been going on, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Luka he's seeing every type of defender that you can see: a short, quick guy, a tall, physical guy, a long, lanky guy, and I just think, he's just taking a lot of toll on him. He's like a running back. You done seen every type of defense out there, every type of run defense that's hitting you in this. But I think he's one of those guys that he has to psych himself out. You know, you had Kevin Garnett down there. Kevin Garnett, and from the day he stepped in the NBA, people thought he was a head case, but people just don't understand that's what gets him going. Sometimes he has to have all this trite going on in his mind just to bring his most noble self out. Yeah. And I think that's kind of what Luka does, basically. He gears it up maybe instead of years old. Yeah, I mean, but he has been playing professional basketball since about 13.
13, yeah, which is crazy.
So it's like he has the mileage on him, to be honest with you. But he's just one of those guys where I don't even know if sometimes he hurt. That might just be the way he looked.
I think you might be right. It's almost like a Ben Roethlisberger. Like he'll get remember, he got slammed. He looked terrible. The next play, 5 guys can't take him down. He's throwing touchdown passes. He's running for 30 yards. So, yeah, I mean, mad respect to Luka. I mean, out of everyone on the Mavs, he showed up game one. The issue was he was not an issue at all. The next guy I want to ask you about.
Come on with.
Move my cat here before he knocks the camera over.
Cat even mad that you about to ask about this dude.
If we see the camera going timber, we know. But all right. So Kyrie Irving, he is. Props to him. He has reinvented his career, and he's been unbelievable for you guys. It does seem like Boston might be his kryptonite, though. There's the history with the city, with the Lucky, with telling us he was going to sign, and it seems like, I mean, as much as he said all the right things going into the game, immediate day, and I do believe he has matured a lot, but I mean, the numbers don't lie. He has 6-19, and he looked a little rattled. I don't expect that to continue because it's Kyrie. I mean, he's had he had a bad game against Minnesota when they lost, but there does seem to be something to the fact that the Celtics fans are in his head to a degree. I mean, he has not won since he stomped on Lucky. He's 0-11. Do you see that too?
I mean, you can't run from it. You are what the record says you are. That's a famous quote that Dak uses, and we talk about that on him in the playoffs. But keeping it on Kyrie, I just saw a dude who just wanted it too much. And I'm like, dude, you were playing outside your body. Like, you were playing a step and a half ahead of yourself. And it didn't really go good. He had some opportunities where he had open shots. He had easy looks. They just weren't falling. I could say the same thing about Jason Tatum. Both of them really had subpar games. And
he struggled.
Those are going to be the two people, credit to the Celtics. Y'all star players don't have to score to win the game. They don't have to be that explosive to win the game. But I think Kristaps Porzingis changed the whole mindset of that game. But for Kyrie Irving, I think he just wants it a little bit too much. He just needs to settle in. I think early on, they made it too much of a one-on-one game anyway. And they just need to get back to playing Maverick basketball, which, look, Luka, Kyrie will have to create the offense, but slow it down a little bit, because with a team like the Celtics, if they're going to be a 3-point shooting team, let's slow the game down. Let's not play their pace. Let's slow the game down, and I think that's all Kyrie has to do. Do I think Kyrie is going to go for 40 in game 2? No, but to see more assists, less turnovers, that type of stuff to really impact the game. One thing I will say about Kyrie, he had Mamba mentality, because if to me personally, if Boston in the crowd was really getting to him, when he got his shot blocked the first time, or when he shot the ball and it hit the side of the board, backboard and stuff like that, he would have folded and tanked. But he kept coming. He kept shooting. It just seemed like he was a little bit ahead of himself. So that's a good sign for me, is where he still really has no conscience. He just needs to slow down a little bit. Him getting his shot blocked, that anybody gets the shot block. It's humbling. But it didn't deter him. He kept coming. He made some shots. It was just he didn't make enough. So Kyrie will be all right. Game 2. I think the crowd will be more on his case this go round. I don't think y'all gonna have another tribute this go round.
I think the one thing he probably shouldn't have said was in the post game. He said, "They weren't as loud as I thought." I mean, if anyone in the TD Garden, has a little forethought, they're gonna play that and say,
Well, the
play that
reason
quote.
they weren't as loud on Kyrie is because y'all used all y'all juice up in that first half when y'all went up 17 when
And we were
Kristaps
cheering.
Porzingis was
Yeah,
just
right,
lighting the
right,
roof off.
right.
That probably took a little wind out their sails to be booing him like that.
Agreed.
I mean, it was an avalanche that just came. So that's probably why it wasn't as loud. You know, if you've been to games and you get that, if it's a barrage in the first quarter, by the time the third quarter come, you know, as we done got older in our lives.
Well, fans get fatigued too.
You see what I'm saying? It's just a lot to take on. So I think that's probably what more than it. It's a lot of emotion going on as everybody was, you know, for Bill Walton, you know, everybody's on an emotional tour. And then the game was real muddy, real tight.
Yeah.
And then here comes Kristaps Porzingis and the Celtics take flight. That's a lot of different arranged emotions in us. You know, it all came like that. So I think that's probably why they weren't as loud.
Do you think, how much do you think it affected the Mavs? Because I didn't watch every game of the postseason, but I know a lot of the opponents were doubling Luka a lot. And it seemed like the Celtics' plan to defend him is no help, one-on-one coverage. And I think the stat was, I think he had 1 assist, which you don't usually see that. I mean, especially if the Mavs are winning. Do you think that you got to think that they're going to come in with a vastly different game plan for game 2. And I mean, if Luka could even be more aggressive, I think he's going to be, because he knows he's not going to get the double teams. Do you think that was just that kind of shocked the Mavs a little bit, just the one-on-one straight up coverage? And yeah, how do you think they're going to respond to that?
The one-on-one, I don't think they actually mind that. What it's just going to boil down to is just Luka trusting his teammates. I think once the score got kind of out of control, Luka has that gift and he has that competitor, and he has that Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, where, okay, if none of y'all are going to hit some shots, the hell with it.
Give me the damn ball.
I'll do it myself. You know what I'm saying? He has that in him.
Yeah.
What I will say is the Celtics game plan to stick to the corners and make sure the pick and roll lobs weren't there. They just stuck to the game plan, and that's a good game plan to have. Only what's just going to have to happen, I just think they're going to have to start playing with some more force. I think for any jump shooting team, which the Mavericks used to be one of those teams that took 3-point shots at a high volume clip, but since they made the trade and got bigs, they started playing more inside. But a lot of times with the Mavericks, teams would get physical and their legs would come out from underneath them and the jump shot stop falling. That's kind of where I'm hoping where Jason Kidd and the Dallas Mavericks will probably go inside and start doing offense. Start getting PJ. If you're gonna go one-on-one with Luka, who do you put out there on him? You better, if you're gonna put a big body on him, that's probably your best bet. Because if not, Luka's big. As you see up front and close in person, people don't realize how big he actually is. They just say he's just sloppy and out of shape, but it's hard to keep him out the lane. It's hard to keep him off his spot because he's big. So one-on-one is fine. I just think they just need to do more posting up if they're going to play one-on-one like that. Be physical. If nobody's going to double, put Luka in the post, put PJ Washington in the post, and let's see what can happen.
I mean, I agree. I don't think people realize how big he is. 6'8", but that guy is just he's
wide.
He's a brick wall. He gets a step on you, forget it. I mean, he's getting to the rim. He's drawing the contact. He's getting the N1s, which, I mean, you gotta give it to him on that. I mean, I think he might be the best on-ball, just self-creator of offense in the league. I can't think of anyone that does better than he does. So, I mean, I expect him to ball out next game. It will be interesting to see how he tries to get it, you know, his teammates involved. PJ Washington was a guy you guys traded for with Charlotte. How big has he been for you guys?
I mean, he's been huge. I mean, I think it was the first series against the Clippers, he came up big, was hitting 3-point shots, and I think that's been aware by Boston that he can get hot from that corner spot, but
Mm.
just his ability to be able to give the Mavericks size on the court at all times. He can either guard Jason Tatum, he can either guard Jaylen Brown, or he can guard Horford, or it just even sometimes you saw him guard Kristaps Porzingis. So to me, he reminds me of everything what we had in 2011 with Sean Marion, just a little bit taller. Just
the Matrix.
Just that the dude who does all the dirty work. Just look, we need you to guard like 3 different people for all these minutes, and he has no problem with it. Now, what I say for the Mavericks, they use him more defensively, but they need to use him offensively. And I think him being in the post can give some matchup problems if you're going to play one-on-one, because somebody's got to guard Luka, somebody's got to guard Kyrie. If they're going to go post up with PJ Washington, who do you really have to see that you would like to see on him? So I just like to see him get more offensive touches like that. But his energy, his willingness, his grittiness, it's all needed. Now, people say him standing on business, doing all that stuff is a fake tough guy persona. Look, this is basketball. I don't know how many tough guys there are in basketball. No disrespect, but I'm a football guy. So, different sport.
Every time there's an altercation, the guys are looking for one of the teammates to hold them back. Hold me back. It's a lot of posturing, a lot of fake. Let me at him. But I hear you.
Some tough guys. Let's watch some NHL. Them the tough.
I know.
Right there.
You know what they should? I think every sport should allow like fighting, like the NHL. It's it's
get it out.
You let them fight. That's it.
I agree with you, man.
Oh man. So you've been to a bunch of other playoff games in Dallas. What's that arena been like? I mean, I've watched a good amount of Dallas games. I've never seen the arena like that. Has the playoffs been a whole new experience down there with just the energy in that place?
Man, I mean, they got a new board up in there, but it's
a Jerry board.
I mean, it ain't Jerry World, boy. Trust me. That screen will put a lot of screens to shame. But the way it's shaped, it's bigger, but it also has like the video boards inside of it. So if you're lower and you can't like see the screen directly, you can see underneath it, and it gives you full everything. That is a fresh thing to see right there. And I mean, let's just be honest. I feel bad for the people who have to work at the American Airlines Center during this postseason run, because one day you got to put the hardwood out, then the next day you got to put the ice out because the stars were in there. So I'm not gonna lie, for a DFW sports fan, it has been it's not been too many days off, we should say.
It don't get much better than that. I mean,
you can't, but it does get draining, especially like when the games are tight and stuff like that. So it can get draining, but the playoff atmosphere down here has been electric. Now, like I said, what was in TD Garden, especially that was the Bill Walton tribute.
That was crazy.
Not too much that can really rival that. I felt that energy through there, and I was immediately like, this could be the Boston is not worried about Kyrie like that. I think Bill Walton changed everybody's mind in there to go win basketball games instead of we're gonna make it hell for Kyrie. Now, as the game went on, but I don't think Boston fans were really worried about it, and y'all should have credit to yourselves for that. And because everybody knows how Boston fans can get, and I want to say everybody knows how Boston feels about Kyrie. So
No, I agree.
But when they come back down here, it will be electric atmosphere. I won't be going to any of the games. I've tried to think about it, man, but the tickets are just too high for my blood, bro. I done already wasted a lot of my capital growth during these postseason runs with them and the Stars, and I'm trying to get ready for Cowboy season coming up. So,
man,
I'm gonna have to take the back burner on this, but I'll be at the parties or something like that. I'll be in the area, I should say.
There you go.
It's a live atmosphere for sure.
You'll have the pulse of Mavs Nation, regardless. I know I can count on you for that. For sure. What I know, the Cowboys are front and center, like front news for everybody there. Have has the run of the Mavs and the Stars been able to displace that front page news, or the Cowboys still just are they it?
Cowboys is by far. Bruh, the Stars, Rangers, Mavs, they could have all won a title, and the Cowboys will still be the topic by far. And it's just one of those things, just because I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of people in Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, for sure, we can turn off the Cowboys. But the rest of America cannot turn off the Cowboys. That is the problem right there. So it's not that they just reign supreme down here in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. They reign supreme a lot everywhere else. So they're always going to be the topic. I've always said since for about the last 5-6 years, if I had to have a power ranking, now the Rangers are up there just because they won the title last year, but I would put the Dallas Stars up there. They have been the most consistent franchise in Dallas, Fort Worth since about 2019. I can say that. So, but the Cowboys, it ain't even close. It's not even close.
It's one and who's coming in.
Yeah, like I said, everybody could have won a title. They could win 3 straight. It still wouldn't matter. I don't know why, but it's just like that, man.
You know, it's funny because I was flipping through the stations because I got the almost like the full thing where I get a lot of stations from other cities, and I did the Dallas CBS, I think, or whatever it was, day before the finals. They're gonna have some good coverage for the for the Mavs. It was a whole show dedicated to the Cowboys. I'm like, what? I'm like, if this ain't gonna displace them, nothing will. Like the Cowboys reign supreme.
That's just what it is, man. And that's why I'm like, as much as I want to go to the finals, man, I need this Cowboy content because it is what it is. But I will have some Maverick content through this finals for sure. I'm thinking about going to the watch party game tomorrow as well at the arena. So try to get some footage in there, stuff like that. So how you feel about KP though? Like his performance, how did that take you right there? Because I know you had to be sitting there and all like, this is the Kristaps Porzingis that we're getting right here.
I thought I was very nervous. I don't know if you watched like the Knicks series where they tried to OG Anunoby. The guy could barely walk. And he hit a 3. Crowd was all crazy, and then he could, he's barely getting up the floor. He needed his cane. So, and I think all of Boston was holding their breath because, as you know how fragile KP is. He'll be running up the floor, non-contact. Their tweaks a hamstring. I don't think anybody in their wildest dreams, not even in their best case scenario dreams, would have ever expected even half that. He came on the floor. He gave the fans. And he was such an X factor in that game. Gave the fans the lift. And then not only that, there was no rust. The guy hasn't played in 40-something days. 0 rust. He's hitting shots like not even touching no rim. Yeah. He's running back on defense, blocking shots.
That amazed me.
It was almost like we were all watching in disbelief. Like, is this really happening? Like, is this the KP we saw? Like, them practically have to carry off the floor early in the playoffs. Like, so I got to say that was that's what you got to love about the playoffs. It's you never know, who's going to show up, and you always get those unexpected, those just out of nowhere, just performances. I mean, granted, had he been healthy, we would have maybe expected something like this. Yeah. But to not play, and I don't know if you saw his press conference from the day before when someone asked him, "Oh, how are you feeling? Do you got any pain? Are you able to work out pain free?" He paused for about 10 seconds. He's, yeah, sure, I'm okay. Like, and it was like, ooh, is he? It made everyone, all the alarm bells were going off after you did that. Really, no one knew what to expect, but nobody in their wildest dreams expected anything like that. I mean, you can make the argument take out Jalen, he was the best player for the Celtics. So,
His
Yeah.
20-point contribution in 3 blocks was tremendous. Like I said, man, he only hit 2 threes. Celtics did exactly what y'all always do. I will sit here and say, for the Mavericks fans on my side, Tatum, not everybody really killed you. Jaylen Brown finished strong. He finished real strong. But it wasn't overwhelming. But what Kristaps Porzingis did, that was overwhelming. Like, that just was no recovery from. So it'll be interesting to see how we can make that match. And like I said, if this is what you're going to get from Kristaps Porzingis, then y'all should win the finals, because that's a lot of offensive talent.
I don't know how you stop that.
And then on top of that, a lot of, we don't really have no beef with Kristaps Porzingis down here. We don't dislike. We know what happened with Rick Carlisle. But I ain't gonna lie. You mean to tell me you gonna be playing like that? Nah. Now we kind of we don't got no beef, but we feel some type of way.
Yeah. Facts right there. I mean, yeah, because you got to think like what. I mean, most of the players that leave Boston, unless there's some type of, if there's history on something like the whole Lucky and contract thing, fans have a short memory. You're mad for maybe a week or so.
Yeah,
and you forget about it. I mean, this was one that this one was kind of unforgettable. And the media hasn't helped it either. I actually saw one of the Dallas. I could not believe it. One of the Dallas reporters or writers. And he has since deleted the tweet, had the audacity to go to Lucky and stomp on Lucky. And it's like, why would you want to keep that in the news? Why would you want to keep those emotions fresh? I mean, that just gives us more juice. It just, this fan base, Boston fan base, is sensitive and is looking for anything to get riled up on. And we got this guy, I forget his name, I'll have to retweet it again, but I could not believe he was trying to stomp on Lucky. Whether it be a joke or not, you just don't go there.
I mean, it's agreed, man.
Yeah.
There's no reason for outside force to be putting unnecessary pressure on anybody. Like, come on, dude, you're there to cover some stuff. You're not there to be, making a bad representation for all of us down here on the other end, because it's just not smart. Let the players play the game. You do the reporting, and then go from there.
Exactly. It's I would never come down to Dallas if God forbid we ever got so lucky, got some press pass to a game. The last thing I would ever do at a Cowboys game is stomp on the star, or even get close to that star. I ain't trying to step on any toes. But yeah, I mean that's.
Bruh, you will be surprised. People come from around the world, different cities. They will pay Jerry Jones to tour the stadium just to stomp on the star, flick Dak Prescott's locker room.
Oh my God.
I'm like,
that's crazy.
I get it. You don't like the Cowboys, but you don't like them that much that you flew down here, paid money. Like, Jerry's still winning. That don't.
He's laughing all the way to the bank.
And this is what people fail to realize. People like, y'all in Cowboy country, stop buying tickets. It ain't us. It's everybody else.
That's true.
A lot of people want to see us lose, or they, come from out of town to see us win. It's out of our control, man. It's just a train that's rolling. That's all.
That's how the Patriots used to be for a while. We got a question here. It says Druski mentioned old school basketball earlier. I think what the Mavs have to bring tomorrow, physicality in your face, drive the lane, and get to the line. Basketball, I would agree. If I'm Jason Kidd, I mean, is there any? You can't see any other game plan than it starts right there with the physical nature, drawing fouls. I mean, would you agree?
Be physical. It's like boxing. Okay, if you're fighting a fast fighter that can, the 3 ball is pretty and it can put you away fast. If you fighting that fast, skillful fighter, give him body blows. Give him body blows and hang around long enough. His legs start getting tired and maybe the shots don't fall. So this is the type of basketball, and it's really the type of basketball that's played in the Western Conference, really, because is more inside play as you had to go through. I mean, now the Thunder were young. but they were long and they played kind of big ball as well. They could play big ball. You know, what is it? Chet Holmgren, whatever his name is.
Oh yeah, Chet. Yeah.
That's where I'm confident because now is he Kristaps Porzingis? No, but they're similar. I think he can grow into a Kristaps Porzingis. So this is kind of, we have seen it. We just didn't know what to expect from it, but we ended up neutralizing him by getting physical. And when I saw later in the second half, and this is probably why Kristaps Porzingis, not only because y'all were big in the lead, but they also sat him down because he probably reached his minutes, but we started getting physical with him.
Real physical. I saw that.
It was like, you know what? Kristaps Porzingis, you done did enough. Let's sit right here. And that was a smart move because to start getting physical like that on your first game back. And I think that's a lot of us what we thought what could be. How can he turn up finals intensity after not playing for a long time? So that was smart of the Mavs. You got a guy coming back after that long. You gotta test him. You gotta test him. Make him feel it.
Exactly. And who knows what version of him shows up of game 2 because he hasn't played for so long. A couple of days he's probably still feeling it. People like us, we're not playing ball every day or doing that. We go in and we just exert ourselves. We know how we feel the next day. We go on half the speed. It's like, where's the ice bath?
So we jump out there on the court. We in the ice bath for a week.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
All week.
Exactly. So Dallas. They'd be crazy not to see, not to keep testing them, and especially the way you see it. The refs, they call it. It's a different game that they call in the playoffs. So
yes,
if they're going to be letting them play,
get physical, man.
Yeah, and you guys got some big strong boys. So
but you saw Jaylen Brown getting physical, like a lot of them blocks he were doing in the regular season. When you put your arm on a player and block it, they call that a foul. They weren't calling that, and that's where I'm like, you know what? You're just gonna have to force the issue, and that's what the Celtics did. When they got their dunks, they were forcing the issue. You foul us, we making the contact, we're drawing it first. So that's just something that the Mavs is just gonna have to, let it be and adjust to, for sure. But Celtics did a great job to their game plan. Give what's his name, Coach
Mazzulla. Yeah.
Give him great credit. If you're gonna play Luka 1-on-1, but you're gonna take away the 3-point shot and the alley hoop lobs, and you can, I don't want to say they neutralized Kyrie. He struggled in the first half for sure, but he started missing shots too. He
got his looks though. He got his looks.
So it's a give or take situation. It's gonna be interesting for both coaches. Do they take away the role players and let the star players eat, or do they continue to make it harder for the star players?
Yeah.
And see if the role players
pick your poison, right?
So that's the next test match I'm looking for too, right there.
And Kyrie, it's not because he didn't have the looks. He got those looks. He
ended up getting look. Like I said, y'all defense, you blocked him about 3-4 times. You forced him to some of the toughest shots. But afterwards, he started getting open looks. He started getting creating. It just wasn't happening for him. And when the Mavs got down by 8, that game was on a silver platter for them to do something. The game started going back and forth. Celtics miss shots. We miss shots. They miss shots. We miss shots. Derek Lively gets the rebound, travels. Then all of a sudden, Kyrie dribble open court, travels. Those 2 traveling calls,
that
killed all the momentum that the Mavericks had, and then the Celtics went on an 8-0 run. They never looked back.
That's a great point. But it's funny too. If you look outside of that one quarter that was so lopsided,
the game was tightly played.
Yeah, the Mavs won like the 4th. I think the Celtics might have lost the 3rd by maybe a point or 2. It was close. Other than that one, that big run. I just said the Mavs. If I'm the Mavs, I'm trying to neutralize guys like Holiday and White. They seem the catalyst that allow open looks to Tatum Brown, which I would agree with. Like you were saying too, Druski. Who are you gonna? You're gonna have to. Someone's gonna get looks. If you take someone away. Holiday and White though. we haven't even talked about them, and they're, I mean, not only do they play defense, they play pretty solid offense as well. So that's that's a problem for the Mavs too. Yeah, I mean it's who are you going to take away? It's I'm very interested to see the adjustments. We all know the NBA is a game of adjustments. So I am curious to see what adjustments the Mavs come out with game 2. How do you see kind of going into prediction time? What do you see happening in game 2? What does Druski's crystal ball see?
All right, so what I see for game 2, the Mavs will lose game 2 if these happen right here. But number one, if Kristaps Porzingis is just going to keep leading this offensive threat, that's going to be the main key reason. Because, like I said, I think everybody else on the Celtics did what they typically do, except Jason Tatum, really. Jaylen Brown, he had, 22, but I think he got like 6 of his from the free throw line. So
and some steals
actually didn't do too bad against them. And against everybody else, I mean, everybody contributed with threes. You look at it, and it's like you hit that many threes, you win by 19. Kristaps Porzingis has 20 points. Okay, if we can limit Kristaps Porzingis, this game can really be totally different. The Mavs will lose this game. They will go down 0-2 in this game. Number one, let's get it straight. If Kristaps Porzingis can't miss, they're in trouble. If Kyrie Irving can't get it going, they're in trouble.
He's huge. He's got to get going soon, too.
They're going to be in trouble. Also, our bigs just have to get involved. Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively.
Zero
they
love
have
dunks.
To get involved.
Last game, 0 love dunks, and that's been a huge. How big of a part of the offense? That's been a major part.
They got to get involved. If they're not getting involved, they will go down 0-2. So those are my 3 keys, what I can see for the Mavericks going down 0-2, being on the negative side. If I, just speaking for the Mavs fans, if KP goes off, you don't get no production from Kyrie. And if our bigs are not, if they're not a part of the offense to get them going, because anytime you get the bigs going, when we got them lob dunks, that made their defense intensity just that much more better. And it allows you to get back on the defensive side as well. Where the Mavericks can win the game, where they can come out with a game 2 victory and even the series. I mean, of course, Kyrie, but it's going to be more just playing more physical basketball.
And that's giving the Celtics a lot of problems. We saw the Miami Heat. What did the Miami Heat do that? Why did the Miami Heat beat us? Physical.
And when you're a 3-point shooting team, it's not to say that you're finesse, because the Celtics showed they got grit. They played defensively real good, but I think they can win game 2 if they're going to keep playing one-on-one, because if you're going to keep playing one-on-one and we make it a physical game, how much energy in the tank do you have to create your offense and get your 3-point shots up? So that's kind of where I'm looking for them to make bank on game 2. And then they can win if they get PJ Washington more involved in the
PJ and Lively, right?
Instead of waiting for him to hit a corner 3. I think they need to involve him in the post game. So it's really our bigs, Kyrie Irving and PJ Washington, really coming to the fold and just get physical with these guys. If you can get physical and make it tough for them, I don't think you'll be able to hit 3-point shots like that at all times. Or through a 7-game series. But they need to find a way to at least bother Kristaps Porzingis. But it's just going to be about physicality. They will walk away with game 2 with a victory if they're more physical and if Kyrie comes to show up. Those are my takes that I got.
Can the Mavs still win this series if they go down 0-2? Can they take the 2 in Dallas?
Yes. Yeah. A lot of people will say no, but then again, the Celtics have home court for a reason.
Yeah.
Now, if they come down to Dallas and they take any one of the games, then it's a total different story. But the way the Mavericks can play, and I just know, just like y'all have confidence and y'all have a squad around y'all, but I just can't sit here and lie. when I know I have a Luka and then Kyrie can do something, I know they're good for a game or two.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I
Especially
know
at
that for a
home, you're
fact.
gonna be. If you guys drop the first two, we here in Boston know at home you're gonna get calls. You're gonna have your fans. I'd be hard pressed to think why you guys would think that you would not take the next two, but
Yeah,
that's why they play the games, right?
this is why they play the games. Now, if they get blowed out by 20 or something like that, then it's a whole different story.
True,
And
true.
if nobody show up but Luka, then it's a whole different story. But like, let's say they lose. Let's say it's a real close, like it was like that 8-point game, like we cut it down to, and the Celtics win. We feel real good about it.
You still got your confidence.
It's just coming back down to get some home cooking, and let's see if we can hold home serve. That's basically what it's going to be all about. So it's gonna be tough, but I'm not nervous. I've seen this with the Mavs looking bad in game one a lot of times, the same exact way. It's same exact way. Clippers, Thunder, I've seen it the same exact way. So they show that they can bounce back. Now it's just up to the Mavericks to just execute. Just chase them off the 3-point line as much as you can, because without the 3-point shot and Kristaps Porzingis production, where do you see the Celtics in game one? Is more what I've been preaching to Maverick fans. So it's just, everybody's knee-jerk reaction. It is what it is. I mean, I think the Celtics needed game one more than the Mavs, just because.
Absolutely.
I mean, just imagine if the Celtics had lost that game, being up like that, and Jason Kidd had the type of game that he had. Nobody would be questioning Jason Kidd what he said about Jason Brown. You know what I'm saying? That type of stuff. It's a knee-jerk reaction society that we get into. But it was big for the Celtics to get that win. Now it's going to be even bigger for the Mavs to try to even it up. That's really what it boils down to.
And the NBA too. There really is no such thing as momentum from game to game. You'll see a team get blown out by 30. The next game they'll ball out and they'll take it.
It's not about momentum, it's about adjustments.
Exactly. And we know all too well. If I'm a Dallas fan, I'm also looking back on the Celtics game 2 against Miami and against Cleveland. Celtics blew out both teams in the first game, and what they do, laid an egg at home. So, I mean, I'm nervous as hell about that. Which Celtics team is going to show up? But I mean, like I said, that's why they play the game. That's why these sports are so great. That's why we're doing this.
Yeah,
because you just don't know. I mean, with that, we've covered a lot. Druski, I want to give your show some love. Let's talk about your shows. You still balling out on my on the OG network that I started with. You still got your show Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, and you got DFW Sports Raps. When can people hear them? When and where can people hear them? Talk a little bit about your shows.
Y'all already know, man, when Mikey2Gunzz was with IE Sports Radio, you're the right people, all that sports. Y'all know we both had shows on Wednesdays. So he was in the earlier segment on Wednesdays, and I took the nightcap, So every Wednesday, check me out on IE Sports Radio. You can go on YouTube right now because we're doing everything on StreamYard for that show. So you can go on there Wednesdays, 9 to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll be giving some more talk. Since I don't know if I'll be on Wednesday because I might try to be in the mix for game 3. I'm not gonna be at game 3, but I'll be I'm hoping to be around there somewhere, maybe. But if not, you'll catch me Wednesday 9 to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time, and then DFW Sports Raps, man. Basically, what everything y'all see what my man Mikey2Gunzz do when he's in the trenches getting interviews, and now I'm not in the interview game, but I'm more in the trenches in the game. You know what I'm saying? We're giving y'all how it goes down in Dallas-Fort Worth sports, from the Mavericks, Rangers, Cowboys, Stars, Wings. I go to these games. I get the game
lockdown. SMU.
SMU. Hey, SMU, Boston College.
It's now in the same division.
And man, me growing up, I've always been a Florida State fan, and Florida State gets to come down here to Dallas. I'm like really, really giddy about that. I'm like, oh man, hey, you know. But at the same time, we hold it down. We doing everything what my boy Mikey doing. That's why I said, you know, I have major respect for you, my brother, because you hold down Boston sports the way I envision myself how I'm holding down Dallas Fort Worth sports. So make sure you check it out on YouTube at DFW Sports Raps. You see how it's spelled right there. Like, subscribe, hit that notification chime, as well as for my boy Mikey2Gunzz on our Bleepin City, man. I appreciate you for having me on here, man. And we said this was we said one day we gon' one of our teams is gonna be here.
That's it.
It's crazy that damn, bro, it actually done happened within a year. So big shout out, man. Big shout out to you and your Boston.
Much love to you too. I don't think people realize that a lot of my motivation, a lot of the things that I do, and a lot of things that have kind of pushed me and lit that fire under my belt is what I see you doing.
Man.
Your content is just absolute fire. Your content, I mean, people don't realize too. You can flow. You got flow. Yeah. That flow. I still got to get that Drew Bledsoe. Clip from you to put on my thing. But Druski, man, I want to thank you because you have made me step up my game because you are always bringing it. Always bringing it. I mean, your flows on the mic are second to none. I aspire to get to your level on that. But man, we got to do this more often. But I gotta say, much love, much respect to you. Love what you're doing, and will you come back on the show? You come back on the show?
For sure, man. It's nothing like I said, bro. Normally when we're in competition with another city, I'm not trying to be friendly with the other team, especially in this type of environment. But you my dude, bro. You're a solid
that's what I'm saying. Same here, man.
We've been talking about this, so I'm like, nah. Anybody that I'm gonna do this with, I'm gonna do it with my man 2Gunzz. So there's no shame in it. There's no, they say what did Michael Jordan say? It shows the character of somebody who can talk when they down or it's an even score. So I had to show that characteristics of my side over here. I can talk when we losing. I can talk when we win. It don't matter. But for you, my guy, I wouldn't be doing this with anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, nah. They the enemy, but my man 2Gunzz, he's my brother, so we cool. You know what I'm saying? It's all good.
Man. I feel the same way, brother. I feel the same way. I mean, it's I could never. I could just never not do it just out of the laundry because you my dog. You my dog right there. Of course, I'm riding and dying to the death with my team.
For sure.
If for some reason if we don't take it. I give the props and I give the love and if we're not losing, but if we do, I wouldn't be. There's no one I'd be happier for you you and the DFW region. Good people down there.
I don't know, man. I had my fun. The Rangers came through for me. I guess the Celtics gonna try to come through for you. The universe, I guess, only makes it right that way. That we both got to eat. You know what I'm saying?
That's it. That's it. You already know.
I just want to give y'all a good fight. Let's see. Let's just make it happen.
It's a long series. I have a feeling we're gonna have some more twists and turns, some drama, and as a Boston fan, I ain't comfortable at all. So it's going to be a long series. Druski, much appreciated. Much love to you. And hopefully we'll do it again soon.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, man.